Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm part of Group Green. And I guess we're going to get started on our project. I'm sorry, I've got my baby here, so. And then I will give you to Shelby.
Hello, my name is Shelby. I am also part of Group Green. We are going to be diving into our presentation here. And Emily, if you want to start that up, we can get started.
Sure can. Let me get that screen share going. Okay. Okay. So, we decided to go through the gender roles that are taught in childhood. So, what you learned as a child to make you want to be either a male or a female. So, gender roles are a set of societal norms dictating the types of behaviors which are generally considered acceptable, appropriate, or desirable for people based on their actual or perceived sex or sexuality. Many of the studies show that we have found children at a very early age quickly internalize that girls are vulnerable and boys are strong and independent. A lot of these studies have shown that they learn this by the time they are 10 or 11 years old. Many of the male gender stereotypes include men working on cars. Men are more of the leadership roles in society, like doctors or lawyers. They do dirty jobs like construction, mechanics. They don't do housework, not responsible for taking care of children. They play sports and video games. They're in charge of the household, telling their wives what to do. And it's always men who work in STEM fields. Women, on the other hand, are supposed to have clean jobs, nurses, secretaries, teachers, librarians. They're not as strong as men. We're not politicians. We're supposed to do the housework. We're supposed to cook and raise the children, and we don't do as well in with technical or math type jobs or science type jobs. So we decided to bring in the movie Brave to coincide with what we've got going on with gender roles, because in Brave, it features Merida, who is an archer and the daughter of royalty. When they are in that era, they arranged marriages, and Merida was about 14 in this, and the they are trying to arrange a marriage for her. They're trying to arrange a marriage for her based off of a tournament style that she decides she wants them to do. So I have a video clip here for you. Hopefully you can hear it. So, with that, it's relevant because Merida is always being taught that a princess should or should not do something. But she wanted to change the traditions of her clan. So what she did was she actually went and participated for her own hand in marriage. Um, she was able to change how she was to become married, where previously she was betrothed to the one who won her hand in that style of tournament. So I was able to volunteer with the Boys and Girls Club after school program in my local community. I was able to volunteer and help students with activities including art, sports, and tutoring. A lot of times what I observed was how the teachers interacted with the students. A lot of times the students were able to pick their own activities, but some of the time they were placed into groups and told where to go. So a lot of times you would see the males going with their friends or other males and go play sports, participate in video games or other gaming type things. And the females had a tendency to choose art-related activities, or they even read, did their homework. Most of the choices were on an unconscious level of decision making. They saw that their friends were doing and they wanted to do activities with them. And let me get back because Shelby will continue.
As I am pulling this up here, I did a few different things. Let me pull this up. Present. Some ways that I found that gender roles within the family kind of affected each other was that parents definitely treat sons and daughters differently. Before children can even express their own interests or preferences, parents are out there making a girls' room bright pink and princessy, with little boys' rooms being superheroes or monster trucks, with blues and greens in those rooms. So they are definitely already from the start segregated with those themes and colors. And then when they're born, they're instantly put in pink or blue clothes. Parents rate daughters more competent in English than sons, but then sons become more competent in those math and sports activities. Those assumptions start during the middle childhood time, like elementary and middle school. Parents also allow a greater freedom for the boys rather than the girls. They allow the boys to stay out later. Even if they might be into some mischief, they are able to roam farther away from the homes than girls. I experienced this with having 3 sisters. There was always a tight rein on us girls growing up on who we were with, why we were with them, where we were going to be, and when we were going to be home. Rather than families with boys, they were just like, I'll tell my mom when I'll be home if I show up. Boys are more likely to have more maintenance chores around the house rather than the female chores, domestic chores of cleaning the house, doing the laundry, maybe helping their mom cook or clean. And the men, the boys, are out doing painting, maybe mowing the lawn, chopping wood, something more manly. This assignment of the household tasks by gender leads children to define certain types of work by being male or female. With this starting at such a young age, it really just puts it in the child's brain. This is for a male to do. This is for a female to do. And then when they try to cross paths, it may not go over so easy. So then my next thing is the children have to be affected by this. So how? Children are exposed to many factors which influence their attitudes and behavior regarding gender roles. These attitudes and behaviors start at a very young age, like starting when they're 2 years old. So they are obviously learned by the parents, and then being the parents are the most influential people in that child's life. And then as they go to school, as they're at childcare, as they are seeing or watching TV, they see these enhance and how other men might treat a woman, or how siblings interact with each other, whether male or female. So I did a 4-week observation while I was grocery shopping. I went each week to the local grocery store and observed on a Sunday afternoon for a half hour each week. This just showed me, maybe I was observing for how many families were at the grocery store together, whether that was 4 in a family or 10 in a family. I also was trying to observe if there was a mom and daughter there, a dad and a son, or maybe a mom and a son, or a dad and a daughter. Not knowing each individual family's circumstance, I just was observing on the outsider's perspective. So week 1, I did see 5 whole families there at the grocery store. But then coming in next, mom and daughters were the biggest theme that week. Obviously, dad and daughters having 0 if you take a look at my chart. Week 2, my most was a mom and daughter. This is very evident to me. I always try to tag along with my mom to the grocery store. I only saw 2 dad and sons maybe going to the grocery store during that week 2. And then dad and daughters, I saw only 2 also. Week 3, I saw 4 mom and daughters once again, and 4 whole families. So these 2 tend to be becoming a greater standout numbers, this whole family and mom and daughter. The whole family does have that mom part of it, so grocery shopping may become the female role in the family, so it's not a shock to me that the mom and daughter or the whole family are those top choices. And then the very last week, week 4, according to my chart, dad and son, I did see 4 of them. So I don't know whether this was more close to football time. It was a Sunday afternoon. So with those families either coming together to get stuff right before they're going to a football game, or maybe spending the evening together watching a movie. But I saw 4 dad and sons and 6 families that last week that I observed. So with that being said, like I said, I always like to tag along with my mom, and I didn't have brothers, but my dad would always stay home, do something like mow the lawn or do something productive around the house while my mom and I were out getting groceries. So that was kind of some of my observations with my 4-week grocery store experience. This just kind of sets it off for me. I thought it was a great opportunity to be able to really see those numbers. My observations were that the store was dominated by females. If they had a child with them, the chances of it was greater with it being a daughter. The next observation that I took, that there was many families each week together while grocery shopping. These results did not shock me in any way. The way that most women take on a role of a mother and a wife is to do the grocery shopping for the family for the week. This is a nurturer part of the mother, just trying to take care of the family. When they go to the grocery shopping together, their little girl was most likely right there attended with her mother. A little boy would much rather be at home with their father, or watching football, or playing, or doing something at home or with their fathers. The next opportunity that I had was attending Thanksgiving at Baker's Youth Club. On Wednesday, November 15th, I attended this dinner at the Baker's Youth Club here in Warsaw. This was an event where I was able to help serve dinner, but also observe families together for this event, which was very shocking and very eye-opening to say. So then I just kind of put the mission statement of the Baker's Youth Club here in Warsaw, just so that we can really see what they were trying to obtain. So the BYC in Warsaw strives to provide quality supervision for the young people in our community. Baker's Youth Club emphasizes education, health, physical fitness, and social skills while teaching young people life skills. The staff at BYC takes pride in helping children by providing a structured daily schedule that will help teach them discipline, respect, relationship buildings, and other essential components that will help them be successful in life. So this just really stood out to me because it shows me what Baker's Youth Club emphasized on: the education, the health, the physical fitness, and social skills. So this really touches the male and female aspects of really seeing how those genders play in roles. Not only in the family, but then going out into the community, children interacting with other children, parents interacting with other teachers or parents also. So my family observations during the Thanksgiving dinner was that there were three kinds of families in attendance. The first type was the parents were excited to be there, and they were fellowshipping with other parents and children. They would go up to their friends and be like, hey, what's going on? Maybe sit together at dinner. The next type was the parents weren't excited to be there and was on their phones, but the child was ecstatic to be there and wanted to have fun and get a good meal. The third was neither the parent or the child was happy to be there. So type 1 family. While going through the food line, the parents helped the child get the food and made sure they were taken care of, as well as getting themselves taken care of and seated. After they got the food, they sat together as a family or near another family and chatted during dinner and fellowship together. Once they finished eating, the father and mother took the children's plate to the trash for them. They left happy and full of joy in food. This is the most ideal family in my perspective. All getting along, happy, knowing that their child was taken care of, but yet they were taken care of also. Very caring and loving family here. It was good to see this type of family because I'm not sure how many more families of this type are out there in this world anymore. Type 2 family. This was a type of family that arrived, and it was evident the parents weren't very interested in being there. So the child was urging the mom and dad, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. So they went. The children was going around and saying hi to their friends. And then the mom and dad just kind of trailed behind them with zero to little emotion. They helped their child go through the food line, but the child still struggled. Then they found a seat, and while they were eating, there was little words amongst each other, even between siblings or mom and father. Once they were done eating, the father got on his phone and then asked the children to take their mother's plate to the trash, which was across the room. I could tell by the time they left, the child was upset because they wanted to have fun and experience that great time, or that great Thanksgiving meal as a family, but they were just disappointed. The third type of family, which was hard to watch, was this family who did not want to engage with others, and they did not want to be there. This family may have just been there for a free hot meal that was being served, and it was very evident that they did not want to be there. They were not interacting with others. They were very quiet and ungrateful. As I observed them, they had no emotion and seemed as if they were forced to be there for the dinner. So the child maybe didn't know anybody else. They were quiet. They weren't excited to be there. And then the parents just kind of sat to themselves. Nothing really interested them as part of the dinner. They kind of came, they ate, and they left. So with this being said, kind of my observations were that we basically, parents form the way the child is going to see and see genders, whether that's going to be a male having male roles or a female having female roles. As a child, I was always that tomboy who really wanted to get out there and roll in the mud. And when I was told no, maybe that wanted me to do it a little bit more, just because I'll show you type of thing. So as we conclude, I'm going to give it back to Emily so that we can finish up our conclusion here and get going.
Well, we really do think that children are really assigned a trait for gender. A lot of our observations just kind of concluded that. So we really appreciate your time, and we hope you enjoyed our presentation.
Thank you.